It's now getting to a really critical stage because I'm firing ahead trying to get the mast up onto this 42-foot ocean-going catamaran, which was abandoned and has turned out to be a lot of work, but I'm getting there now. Last week I had zero experience splicing Dyneema, and over the next week I'm going to be rigging this whole boat completely by myself using Dyneema, and that's what a lot of this episode is about: getting my Dyneema spliced, making sure everything is right, solidifying the mast base. And we had some really lovely weather the last week, so I think for music we're going to go for a bit of samba. I hope you like it. We're now switching focus to bolting down the mast step. The mast step is at an angle of 3 degrees, and so when we through bolt through, the bolts on the other side of the beam need to be at 3 degrees so that it doesn't dig in, if that makes sense. We're going to make another wedge, which is essentially a washer wedge. Oh man. So I've actually got a little helter-skelter drill bit. Yeah, it screws into the wood and then it bores it out, so it's one continuous drill. You don't need to keep going up and down. I just hope none of my wood splits. But yeah, I've got 2 solid wedges under there for washers. I'll dry fit everything and then probably epoxy coat the wedge and then Sikaflex everything together. Oh shit. Oh, I'll take a beer if that's okay. Thank you, Val.
Alsjeblieft, proost. That'll do.
Yeah. It's got tape in there. I've epoxy coated these little wedge washers and I'm just going to give them a bit of paint and then I'm going to go and watch England. I buy my brushes from a very cheap shop here in the Netherlands called Action. I think they're about 80 or 90 cents for 3. It's wasteful, but yeah, washing them all the time, that wastes good white spirits and acetone. Yeah, slop it up. Alright, so I've been fannying about trying to make these tangs up, the Mark II version, but my friend over here in this motorboat, he's going to a place called Vinkerveen, which has used marine stuff, also new boat parts. So I'm gonna go there and hopefully I can find some tangs and other bits and bobs that I need. A lot of people have told me about this place. Apparently it's a bit of an Aladdin's cave full of cheap used stuff. A lot of people might be wondering why I'm trying to make them when I can buy tangs, but they're so difficult to find online. I've not found any in the Netherlands, and the ones that I've seen on other websites are just not right. So fingers crossed this place has them for a good price. Okay, let's give this place a little try. Check out this huge stainless shackle for €12.50. That's madness. That's madness. So apparently the Queen is in this car.
Yeah. 100%.
Really? That's the Queen?
Yeah.
No way. Yeah. Princess Beatrix. So that shop was actually really good. They had so much stuff, pretty much everything that you need. However, just no mast tangs. there was nothing. So, but I did get some proper shackles, which I can use for my bridles, which are stainless for a good price, and another battery for my engine. So I can use the other one for my sink. I'm just gonna continue with the mast foot, and then I'll come up with a plan, I guess, for those mast tangs. But I can probably mess around with my Dyneema a little bit more and get this. I might get a strip bender so I can just experiment and see what the best way is going to be. I feel like summer has finally arrived. It's been trying to come. One day has been nice and then you've had 2 or 3 rubbish days. So I think the summer is here now. So no excuses, just hard work. Last night I was stretching these Dyneema stays just to work out exactly how much they stretch. When I stretched these, which are for my inner 4-stay bridle, they stretched an extra 10 centimeters. So, and also I've just decided that I'm going to use my 8mm stainless to make the mast tangs. And so I've bought a metal strip bender. My friend has one, but I think that it's going to be a really useful tool to have on board for making little bits and bobs. That's going to come in a few days. In the meantime, I'm just going to start splicing up my Dyneema. Once I've got my tangs all sorted and my Dyneema spliced, I can put the mast on. I need to put my aerial on and my running rigging and the mast light wiring. But yeah, apart from that, the mast thing can go on. Did you get some footage of me measuring up?
I did, actually.
Good man.
Right?
Good man.
I peeked through and you were focused and I was like, hey, that's the work.
Once you know the camera's on you though, you're like, eh.
It's different.
This length is the length of the whole stay, including the tang. So that includes the tang, the shackle, and up to here, which is the inside of the thimble. And then at the chain plate end, it's just a shackle and then a lanyard. So that's got to be 30 centimeters. The 2 shackles combined are about 10 centimeters, and then this length is about 10 centimeters. There are my measurements that I got from the drawings. So I need to subtract the amount for these, the shackles and the lanyard, and that will give me how long I need to do my stay. However, after I've made the stay, it's going to stretch, so I have to make it a little bit shorter than this subtracted. I can understand why getting your boat rigged for you by a professional is very expensive because of all these measurements, the hours and hours that go into it and getting it right. But I am saving money by doing it myself, also learning. I can always just do my rigging, no worries, by myself, and I'm pretty sure if I get the lengths right, it's going to be okay. It's going to be good. So the length of the stay is supposed to be 12 meters and 57, but I'm going to do it up to 42, so 15 centimeters less, and then hope that once it's pulled and stretched it'll come up to here. I'll stretch it, see how much difference there is, and then with the next one it should be pretty bang on. Alright, so between two bollards on the pontoon and the ratchet strap, and give it a try. So when I measured it, when it was stretched, it was 12 meters and 60 centimeters. My intended stay length is 12 meters and 57 centimeters, so it's 3 centimeters out, but because of the margin for error, it's going to be fine. So it's been a whole day of splicing Dyneema, and I've done my cap shrouds, my intermediate shrouds, that's it. So 4 intermediate shrouds and 2 cap shrouds, but I've been taking my time. I feel like now I've become one with the Dyneema. Probably just another couple of days of splicing. Tomorrow I'm going to try and do my forestay and the forestay bridle and backstay bridle. It's going to take some measuring, but this repetitive work in this scorching heat, which I have no complaints about, so much better than rain. I'll take scorching heat any day of the week. But yeah, it's just been the same thing, splicing, measuring, stretching the stay to check that it's the correct length. And yeah, another day tomorrow of doing it, and I might just be getting there. My metal bender should be coming in a day or two, so I'll make the tangs, and then after that it's literally just a case of getting the mast on, and then moving forward from there. So probably won't be sailing straight away, but another week or two after putting the mast up, should be ready for a little test sail. Not sure whether to paint the decks as well, because the decks are in need of a painting. I don't know whether to go out sailing first and then perhaps paint the boat at anchor, or we'll see. Maybe a painting party, if anyone's interested in a painting party. Sanding and painting over 4 or 5 days, I think it could get done. It's been a long day, 6 days, and that's all, but when you take your time and do everything right, I think it's right. It takes time. Alright. Buenas noches. So this backstay bridle is a little bit more complicated than the other ones, because obviously you have to work out the... Well, anyway, I'm using the same techniques as I have been doing, and it's just taking me a while. I'm really taking my time. I know I keep saying it over it. And if they don't fit, if I've got my measurements wrong, it will be incredibly demoralising, because I would just probably just have to think to myself, like, I don't know, I should not be building boats. But if I get it right, I'm gonna be so happy. I will be a rigger, a proper rigger. Well, that's if the mast doesn't fall down. But yeah, it's just a lot of measuring, and then obviously you have to subtract the length of the lanyard. And I just don't want to make these stays too long, because if they're too long, I can't really re-splice them, especially after I've feathered the tails down on the Dyneema splices. So I'm just trying to make it extra special care, take extra special care, cross my fingers and my toes. So this is the long piece. There she is. So the main stay comes down and the bridle comes off there. What? So I actually paid about 1,000 for that roll of Dyneema. Still need to do a forestay and inner forestay and the bridle. I've actually got 10 meters left, so I think I can do my forestay bridle with it. More forestays to make, so I need to make another order. But yeah, it's about 10 euros a meter, this stuff, so yeah, for 100 meters, that's 1,000 obviously. Yeah, it's expensive, but stainless wire, 8mm stainless wire is also about the same price. So, but also the thimbles are expensive, but then with stainless, also the thimbles that you use for stainless and the end attachments, swageless fittings and stuff like that, that's also very expensive. So some people would think that this is an expensive way to re-rig your boat, but I think that it works out pretty much the same. And the benefit with Dyneema is that it's just much lighter as well, so keeping that weight lower down, the lighter the boat, the safer it is, because it will just sort of dance over the waves a bit better. Just going to continue with the splicing with what I've got left, put in an order tonight. I need to get some more bits and bobs anyway, but yeah. As always, thanks to your patrons, PayPalers, coffeeers, people just watching, commenting, liking. Super thanks. This is all thanks to you. So yeah, you're keeping the dream alive for me. This is what remains, about 10 meters. I think the sweat helps just to squeeze that on. Got this all nice and tense, and you can see when it's pulled tight it really neatens up. There's no big bulge there, and that tail is nicely buried, and yeah, when you tense it, it all gets sucked into one nice, very smooth joint. I'm going to mess around with my anchor because I've got a load of chain, perhaps too much. Hannah Cabone, who built the 63-foot version of this catamaran, she actually just has a very, very long anchor rod and only 10 meters of chain. I'm going to cut this chain down, maybe not to 10 meters, but maybe 20. There was 2 anchors on board. There's this, my apologies for the wind, there's this like really awful heavy fisherman's anchor, and then there's like a CQR anchor as well. So I'll be using the CQR one because that's, I think, much better for general purpose, and this thing is more just a big old weight. Anyway, it's all at the front of my boat and weighing my boat down, so I'm just going to organise it. Also, if I go for a motor anytime soon, then I need to have an anchor which I can deploy easily, and this thing is a cumbersome old chunk of metal. I've also got this net for my front trampoline which I could clean up. So this chain was actually buried in the mud in an anchorage for like 10 years, and the mud has preserved it perfectly. It like looks in really, really good condition because this is at the anchor end where the anchor was dug in. I'm going to see how much there is. So my boat was always leaning forward in the water, and now it's all good. I thought it was the anchor chain. I'm not surprised now after lifting it, but yeah, I worried that it was unbalanced, but yeah, it's nice and flat now. approximately 58 meters. So I'm just going to take, I think 30, 35, that's going to be plenty enough. I know there's always a massive debate, and when you look on groups online, people will say, you know, for sailing in the Med, for example, people will say you need 50 meters, no less is inadequate, but having sailed in the Med, 30 is ample, especially for the last cat, which was much heavier than what I've got now, and also a bit of rode, a bit of a rope on it as well. I could get away with 20, and it just makes the boat lighter as well, which isn't a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. I'll do 30, I'll cut off some, and then I'll keep the rest as backup or for other uses. I think by doing these sort of jobs I'm avoiding the really difficult work in those tangs, but feck it, you've got to have a day off, haven't you? Day off, doing the fun stuff. Wow, that's beautiful. Hey. So yeah, clearing up that anchor deck platform and my anchor chain has just given me a little bit of extra space to lash my forestay bridle. I'm just getting used to using the lashings a little bit, so it's taking a little while, but I'm hoping that over this coming weekend I can get the few little final touches done. It's all weather depending. I can potentially be putting my mast up early next week. So what you saw in this video is not quite all of my footage. I've actually got a solution to the tang problem, so they're sorted, and I also went for a motor in the boat, which was very fun, but you'll have to wait for the next video to see that. But apart from that, I've not really done much else. But yeah, it feels almost surreal that I'm going to be putting my mast up soon, and I just hope that it goes without problems. But there's been a lot of thinking behind these stays, and if they're too long or they don't match up, I'm going to be so disappointed. Anyway, well, actually, there's no reason to be disappointed. You can always take the mast off again, eh? But yeah, it's scary. Like, I am daunted, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but yeah, this is how you learn, and yeah, I'm enjoying the process. And yeah, potentially next week, if it is getting my mast up week, I might need to skip the 2 days that I use for editing and preparing the video to actually work on the boat. So if I do miss a video next week, it's because I'm working hard on the mast, and I have to prioritize the boat work a little bit. But yeah, we'll see. There could be a video for patrons and PayPal and coffeeers. I will post a video update if there is no video next week, but there could be. We'll see. Because a lot of the boat is unfinished, it feels a little bit wrong putting the mast up, but I could be doing a lot of work outside of the boatyard, although it is much easier in the boatyard. But I just want to be out there. I want to be messing around in my boat and living off-grid a little bit. That's going to be fun. It's hotting up. Weather's still a little bit iffy, but it's going to come good, hopefully. And yeah, also, like I said in the video, a massive thanks to everyone just for watching, the comments, the names that have been showing up on screen about here. My PayPals, patrons, coffee givers, yeah, it's thanks to you guys that I'm doing this. You're helping me live my dream. So yeah, some nervous days ahead, but productive ones.